At this time, the guards in the detention center stepped over. Only then did Mrs. Wilson reluctantly let go of Elaine's ears. Just now, with all her strength, she pulled Elaine's ears so red and swollen, and there was even some tearing and bleeding at the base of the ears. Elaine's painful tears burst, but when she saw the prison guard, she was almost crazy with excitement. The prison guard is here, the prison guard is here to let her go. I am finally going to be free again. I can finally return to the big mansion of Thompson, have a full meal, and sleep peacefully. For more than 2 days, I didn't eat anything except licking 2 mouthfuls of porridge on the ground, I didn't sleep well, and I also had a fever. This feeling was simply too painful. So Elaine can't wait to leave here quickly, leave here forever. The prison guard strode to the cell, opened the door, and said, "It's time to let the wind out." Everyone lined up to the playground. Out for the air? Elaine's heart was extremely excited, and instantly fell to the bottom. Are the prison guards here to take everyone out? Isn't she ready to let her out? Haven't the police officers discussed whether they want to let her out? Although Elaine was desperate in her heart, at the detention center, she knew that she had to listen to the prison guard, so she hurriedly followed everyone out of the cell. When they arrived at the playground, the prison guard said, "First run 3 laps around the playground, and then freely move for half an hour. After half an hour, gather at the entrance of the playground and return to the cell." Everyone rushed to line up. Jenna was the head of the cell, so she arranged the queue. She glanced at Elaine and said, "You stand in the front, everyone behind is staring at you, if you don't run well, I will blow your head." Then she turned her head to look at other people and said, "You can help the Lady Wilson run slowly, don't exhaust her." The old Mrs. Wilson smiled and said, "Jenna, you are really interested. Although I am old, my body is not bad. I don't need anyone to support me. I just walk slowly behind you." Jenna nodded, and then shouted, "Get ready, run." Elaine was at the forefront. Hearing this, she quickly endured the pain in her whole body and the weakness of not eating much for 2 days and nights, and started to run. Then everyone followed her. Elaine is very weak, and she was uncomfortable as if she was about to fall apart, so after 2 steps, her legs were soft, one staggered and almost fell. The woman behind her kicked her directly on the waist and cursed, "Sorry women who rob someone else's husband, who run crookedly every step of the way, what else can you do?" Another woman laughed and said, "This sorrowful woman can also grab someone else's husband. Although she can't run, she will run to someone else's bed." Everyone burst into laughter. Elaine could only endure the humiliation deep in her heart, gritted her teeth and ran forward. At this moment, Elaine saw 3 fierce women standing on the runway in the corner of the playground, staring in his direction as if looking at her. As soon as she ran past the 3 women, one of the women stretched out a hand and grabbed her shoulder. Elaine was caught, and the whole team stopped. Jenna came up and asked, "What are the 3 of you doing? These 3 women are fierce and vicious." The person who just stretched out her hand to hold Elaine had a scar on her face from the corner of her left eye to her right chin. This scar split her face in half. Looks extremely scary. Although Jenna is the king and has total hegemony in her cell, in the final analysis she is nothing more than an ordinary peasant woman. Let her beat Elaine, she dares to beat, but she must not dare to let her attack someone with a knife. So when she saw that there was a scar on the other's face, she knew that this woman was absolutely extraordinary. She was an existence she couldn't afford. The scar woman said, "I'm looking for a person named Elaine, is it your cell?" "Which one is her?" When Elaine heard that she was looking for her, she was frightened and distraught, waved her hands again and again. "I don't know, I have never heard of a person called Elaine." The old Mrs. Wilson pointed to Elaine, and said, "Don't listen to this shameless woman being talking nonsense here, she is Elaine." Wendy also said, "Yes, it is her. She is Elaine. She is still a scammer." The scar woman turned her head to look at Elaine, and slapped Elaine's face severely. At first glance, this scar woman had practiced, and she had muscles all over her body, so her slap was much stronger than Gina's and others. This slapped Elaine directly to the ground. Elaine was directly slapped by the slap, and fell to the ground with a bang, and then spit out a posterior molar, which was really miserable.